No one has to do this alone. To increase...
Helvete. How do I... Hello? It should be on. Testing, testing. What do I... Hello. My name is Freya. I am 16 years old and I just totally fucked up a guy that tried to rob me and I took his recorder. Not gonna lie, he properly scared me. I was just coming back from a hunt and was deciding how to cook my rabbit when suddenly there was a guy invading my shelter and going through my stuff. I didn't do the smartest thing ever. I just took my knife out and went after him. Luckily, he was just as surprised as I was, so I managed to stab him in the shoulder. Okay, he wasn't that surprised. I was aiming for the back and he saw me. Long story short, I am bleeding from like 5 different wounds. My whole face hurts, but he's the one who kissed the ground after I hit him with a big-ass stone to his face. During our fight, this recorder fell out of his backpack, and that really threw him off. It seemed like he was considering whether he should save the recorder or his life. After he lost consciousness, I packed my shit as fast as I could and I took his stupid little machine. He also had some cassettes in his backpack and a chocolate bar. Score. That's for robbing a person's shelter, you asshole. I hope losing his treasured possessions will hurt him just as much as it hurt me when the fucking asshole grabbed my hair and smashed my head into the ground. Anyway, I have a tape recorder, a sugar rush, and nowhere to stay since I had to run away. Now I'm hiding in a car for the night. Maybe I'll listen to what's on the cassettes and try to stem my bleeding. That guy was such an asshole. I can't speak properly and my face is on fire. The good news is, I stopped all the bleeding. The bad news is that I think I left my lighter there, so I lost my source of fire and my sweet, sweet disco style. And where's Loki? Yalla, I must have lost my troll as well. Oh! I listened to some of the cassettes. If that guy, his name was Adam, didn't beat me like a dog, I wouldn't have thought that he would be such a dick. Okay, it's clear that he's trying to sound like the toughest dude that ever lived, but there's this cassette in which he sings to some girl called Helga. It's so lame. Anyway, I moved into an old van. Its small red windows have these red and white checkered curtains, and the back door can be closed and opened from the inside, so it's great for hiding in. Only hiding though, not for living. Man, I was in that shelter for almost a year. I think I should have killed that guy. Now if I'd gone back there, I wouldn't have been able to sleep, fearing he would come back. I guess I should brush up on my survival skills now that I have no semi-cozy bed to sleep on and a creaking back door. Good thing I still have that book. I woke up with a slight fever. My face is relatively okay. Well, I caught a glimpse of myself in the rearview mirror of the car, and it still looks like a half-eaten plum, but hey, that means it's tasty, right? Ouch. Okay, laughing still hurts. Anyway, as I was saying, I woke up with a fever. It seems like one of the wounds doesn't feel so happy. I washed it. I tried to keep it dry and clean. This is the only book I have. I'm not good with letters. I mean, I can read, but sometimes the letters seem messed up to me and I need to focus hard and, well, it's not the most pleasurable activity. Anywho, this book, it's about Vikings. I really like it. I wish they were still around. There's a ton of useless info and a lot of things about their religion, which is kind of fun, but damn, there's some useful stuff as well. Like how to make a sun compass. I actually used that, like, twice. You just need a big stick, a couple of small ones, and in time, you can tell which direction is east. I bet they would survive living in this world. There's also a whole chapter on what they wore to keep warm. I mean, I can't knit socks or weave a cloak. The clothes nowadays are different. But it reminded me of what my mom always said. There's no bad weather, only bad clothing. Well, Mom, I guess you had no idea that this saying would be twice as true and twice as useless post-apocalypse. Sure, I wouldn't be frozen as a popsicle if I had a better parka, but I can no longer walk into a shop and just buy one. The stores are empty now. The most useful tip, and I mean really useful, was how to make ice skates and what they were used for. I never thought of it as fun before, but now? First, it's really fun, and second, I can move faster and easier on skates. Although, I really need to be careful. It may be effective and fast, but it's also kinda loud, and I'm easily spotted. Anyway, to make the skates, Viking used shin bones of deer or oxen, or a flat piece of iron. I tried using lots of different things, but the bones work like a charm. Here's how many things Viking women could do in comparison to European women. Wow, so many rights. I think the post-apocalypse is more liberating. I can do anything. Well, I mean, I have to do everything. Back in the van for tonight, unfortunately. For a few days, I've been scouting out this area, but I can't risk moving a lot right now. I don't know this area, and I still need to heal. Today was really weird. I found the perfect place to hide. I mean, almost perfect. There was this small opening in the rock, just big enough for a person, even a larger man, to be able to fit through it if they crouched. I was thinking that if it was the entrance to a cave, it would be a really nice place to avoid snowfall and the annoying wind. So I crouched and went in. It was a cave, and inside there was almost a scene. In the middle was a portable stove on a gas tank. On the right, a bunch of trash, open cans, various food packaging, and bottles. At the far end of the cave, there was an improvised sleeping place with an old mat and very few thin and dirty blankets. There were spruce branches all over the place, and on the walls there were drawings. Only simple ones, done with chalk. Mostly of leaves, flowers, and ornaments. But this place was hyggelig. Finally, on the right, there was a person. A woman. I couldn't see her face at first. I was scared initially. She looked like she was sleeping, leaning into the cave wall with her back turned towards me. But when I moved closer, talking to her, I noticed a light covering of dust on her body. When I approached her, I saw her face. I've seen my fair share of dead people, but I could tell she's been here for some time, yet her face was basically intact. Sure, her skin was mottled shades of orange and ashen black, but she looked so peaceful. Also, the cave had a stale aroma, but there was no stench. Maybe it was the bone-chilling cold and dryness of this place that helped preserve her like that. I couldn't even tell why she died. Maybe she just gave up. I looked briefly through the trash on the ground to see if there was any food, and even though her hat was something I'd really appreciate wearing in the following weeks, I left her there. Alone. Sleeping. Forever. I overheard a really odd conversation today. I felt like I was in a movie or something. I was returning from fishing when I found this little shed that had a small storage place under its roof. It was a good hiding spot, and since I felt cold and tired, I climbed in and hid behind a bale of straw and fell asleep. I haven't seen anyone in days or weeks, and I didn't expect to, but I awoke to the sound of voices. They belonged to a couple of dudes in scary military gear, sitting just down below, sheltering from the snow that had started to fall. From what I could gather, they were both from the same group called ARC. They talked about how they were trying to essentially save the world and re-establish society. One of them seemed to be a new member. That was kinda lucky, as the other guy was explaining a lot to him. Meaning, I overheard a lot in detail. I heard a few interesting things. First, these guys were also a part of something called Wrath, and worked for some scientist or something. I mean, wanting to save the world and calling yourself Wrath, I didn't feel like jumping down and expecting they'd help and provide me with shelter. Even they didn't seem so sure about the whole deal. They were talking about some woman, referring only to this person as her, like it was obvious who they were talking about. She sounded scary. Wonder who she is. They also said something about supplies being dropped from a plane to help survivors. Jävlar, I can imagine the bloodbath around those airdrops. The most interesting thing they were talking about was in regard to the church of Surtur. At first, I thought he literally meant the church in Fjällkanten, but they mean people. In a mocking tone, the guy said that they were playing Vikings. But what they meant was that there is supposedly a group trying to live the old way, instead of clutching at the remains of modern civilization. That sounds so good. I have to find these people. If only I knew where to start. Maybe actually, at Fjällkanten. Bye.